Welcome back to the Outside Scoop podcast. My name's Josh. I'm the host. That's my co-host, Rob.
Yeah.
Today is episode 6, Pop Culture. We just saw the new Marvel movie, Thunderbolts. And we have some words about the Thunderbolts.
Should we rate it first? Like, you give your rating, I'll give mine.
Yes.
I already know what mine is.
I also know what mine is.
I'll write it down.
But before we actually get into discussing our thoughts about it,
okay,
so we can rate it, and then I want to share some box office numbers first, and then we'll get into discussion
of Thunderbolts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So rating.
Do you want to do it on a count of 3?
Yeah.
And we're gonna count down.
Okay, we'll count down from 3. Yeah.
On go.
Correct.
3, 2, 1, go.
7.
8.5.
Out of 10.
I'm higher than you.
You are.
Okay.
We'll get into that after I go over some numbers. It has estimated that Thunderbolts brought in $31.5 million on opening day, which, if we're looking at all the MCU releases, is 29th out of 36. It is lower than Captain America: Brave New World, which opened with $40.9 million. That's 20th. I think maybe lower brand recognition. You know, the Thunderbolts is not a household name as opposed to Captain America.
The advertising for Brave New World was pretty good. They didn't advertise too much Thunderbolts, honestly.
I think just the sell of the Red Hulk was enough. And then Thunderbolts has Bucky. That's like the biggest, and like Elena. You know, you can market Florence Pugh pretty easily.
Yeah, people still aren't big on the new characters. I think we'll talk about it eventually, but I think the new characters are more exciting and they are more likable now, like John Walker. But going into it, no one cared about John Walker, but now people do.
Sure, and if you didn't watch The Falcon and Winter Soldier, 1, you probably missed out stuff on Brave New World. 2, you missed out on who John Walker is and what his backstory is and stuff. So, and more development on Bucky. So
I didn't see Brave New World.
I didn't either. Not yet. I'm gonna wait until it's on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
It might be on there already.
I didn't care for it, honestly.
To see it?
I was gonna watch it if it had more positive reviews than it did. I think it was so meh. People was like, it's all right. It's a decent movie, and that wasn't enough to get me to go see it.
Right.
So, whatever.
I think that's what kept me away from it as well. Just nobody came up to me raving about it, as I feel like people probably will for Thunderbolts, even though it did less opening day. Okay, so I wanted to ask you if you know what the 7 movies are that are lower than the Thunderbolts, starting with the 36th.
Do you want me to guess? Okay, the last one, I'm going to say...
And this is just opening day.
The Marvels?
No. The last one is...
Do I have to go in order or can I just try to get them right now, not looking at your thing? There's 6 of them?
There's 7.
7. Okay, so the Marvels.
7 total.
Is that one?
Yes.
Okay, and then what else? Probably Thor: The Dark World? I guess that's early MCU, so people are still excited.
Actually, I believe Thor: The Dark World was the one directly above Thunderbolts, so I think it's 28.
So, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
No.
What? Okay, that makes sense because it's after Endgame, so people are
on the high, yeah.
Let's do Quantumania.
No.
What? I'm telling you duds and no.
Correct.
Okay, Thor: Love and Thunder.
No.
I'm about to get pissed. Okay, it's gonna be something stupid like Winter Soldier.
No.
What's less? Are these movies?
They're movies. They're all movies. Okay, remember this is just opening day.
Okay, so Iron Man 2.
No.
Hulk. The
Yes.
Incredible Hulk. Okay,
Yes.
Incredible Hulk. Let's do Guardians of the Galaxy.
Nope.
Guardians 2.
Nope. All of the Guardians were pretty high.
I look like an idiot here. I feel like most of my answers were pretty decent.
I think some of these will shock you.
Okay, shocking. 2012 was Avengers, and that did really good. I'm guessing Iron Man did good, but I guess I'll throw that out there. Iron Man 08.
Nope. Putting up a lot of stinkers here.
Thor?
Yep.
Okay.
The first Thor.
Makes sense. Let's go another first movie. Captain America, First Avenger.
Yep.
That makes me so sad, man.
It does. But you got to remember that it was the amount of money that it costs to go see a movie back then was a lot
that
cheaper.
Makes sense. That makes sense. So
newer
if that's the
movies
case,
are netting.
What about Doctor Strange, the first one?
No.
I'm lost. How many do I need?
Let's see. You got the Incredible Hulk. You got the Marvels. You got Thor and Captain America. So you need 3 more.
Wow, there's 3 more movies.
Mm-hmm. 2 of them were more recent than you'd think.
Shang-Chi. Oh,
Yep.
That's one.
Mm-hmm.
Eternals.
Yep.
Okay, that's 2. So I need 1 more.
Yep. 1 more.
Okay. No Way Home was a big hit. What about any Spider-Man movie? I think would be good.
Correct. Spider-Man was good.
Okay. I thought you made a funny face at the camera.
No.
Okay. So I'm good on Spider-Man. Multiverse of Madness?
No.
No, that did really good, actually. Unfortunately.
It's another first.
Another first. Okay, who am I missing? Oh, is it just Ant-Man?
It is. It is just
Aw,
Ant-Man.
I
So
like the first
in order, we have at 36, The Incredible Hulk. Netted $21.4 million on its first day. Which makes sense because it was the first MCU movie and it wasn't like...
Second MCU?
What?
Second MCU?
Second, sorry, yeah. Iron Man was first. I don't know. They didn't have a direction yet.
I can look at your thing now.
Yeah, I feel like they didn't have a direction yet for the MCU. So, like, who knows?
They kind of did because they had the Nick Fury post-credit scene.
I guess, yeah. But...
Was it Iron Man post-credit scene? I don't know.
I think it might have been. Anyway, 35 was the Marvels, which is $21.6 million on its first day. Which, for a movie that released in, what, 07, 08, that The Incredible Hulk did, to make, what, 200,000 less than the Marvels?
That's insane.
That is crazy. And then 34, Ant-Man, $22.6 million. At 33 was the first Thor, 25.48. At 32 was Captain America, the first Avenger, 25.7. That is a shocker.
That's insane to me.
Yeah. And I like I said, movies were netting less back then anyway.
Same with Ant-Man.
But
I liked it.
yeah, Ant-Man was good.
It wasn't nothing like too crazy, but it's like...
It was a solid movie.
It's an intro film for... Plus, Ant-Man's kind of a big hero in the Marvel comics anyway.
Right.
So, I don't know.
But I feel like if you didn't know anything about the comics before, then you're probably not like dying to go see Ant-Man.
Was Ant-Man phase 2 or 3? Either
2.
way, even if it's 2, I think Marvel by that point had a good track record, so why not go see Ant-Man?
True.
That's why I didn't guess Ant-Man for a while, because I thought it was like one of those... It's in the realm of Doctor Strange,
Plus
Age
Paul
of
Rudd.
Ultron. Yeah, dude.
Paul Rudd should bring in
loves...
people, especially people who like watched Friends or watched Parks and Rec, like, and saw him in other projects beforehand.
Anchorman.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Interesting. 31 was Shang-Chi at 29.5, which I guess kind of makes sense because not well known in terms of like who he was. People were pretty like not very high on Marvel after Black Widow. Mm-hmm. And then also before Shang-Chi was number 30, The Eternals, which was at 30.8 million. So, and then you get...
I've never seen Eternals.
Never?
Never seen it.
I think you should watch it.
I've tried, and I found it boring.
I liked it.
I also, like, by this point, The Boys was out, Invincible was out, and I just kind of got bored of, like, the Superman-type character just being evil.
Okay.
So you have Icarus, is that his name? Icarus? Yep. Icarus is evil. He's just a bad Superman. Invincible, I already knew Omni-Man. I didn't see Invincible, but I knew the Omni-Man thing. And then The Boys, Homelander. And I was, like, kind of bored of it, like, that story.
True.
So I'm like...
Yeah, I would say that The Boys and Homelander, and then, like, having Omni-Man in Invincible, those versions of, like, evil Superman are a lot more compelling than how Icarus falls. Like, because...
How does he fall?
So... There's 7 of them, right? I think there's 7 in the beginning, maybe 8.
think more than that. I think it's 8.
I think it might. Yeah, it might be 8 because
Not
the one that Salma Hayek plays, she dies before the main portion of the story, so she's like only in flashbacks.
There's 10 of them.
Okay, there's 10.
On the poster, I counted 10.
If I'm right, the one who Salma Hayek plays dies before the modern day story.
Okay.
And Icarus and her character were really close, and all they knew their entire life was like serving the Celestials, and Icarus was looked as their second leader, so like second in command after the Salma Hayek character. And when she died, it was basically up to him to lead them, and he was so laser focused on serving the Celestials that that's what he believed his purpose was. So whenever all of the Eternals started to understand that the Celestials were just going to destroy the planet, he didn't understand. He didn't want to believe it, basically.
Gotcha.
So then they had to take care of him.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It had a cool speedster scene. I've seen that.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
I really like the characters that Barry Keoghan played, and then the deaf girl. The quick one.
She's deaf?
Yes. And Angelina Jolie did fine. Her character is like, at this point in her life, she's battling like mental illness. She's like, BPD, bipolar, I think is what she has.
Uh-oh.
And so she's like kind of in between personalities. It's very interesting.
How old do they live?
I think they're eternal. I mean, they're called the Eternals. And it's like the Celestial that rules over them creates them.
Okay.
And then I think they can only die if like a Celestial or something of that power level kills them. There are beasts in the story that are like equal of their power that kill them.
The weird looking avatar creatures?
Yes. The things that are like dogs and...
Yeah, I saw the first fight. It was maybe like Paris or something. I don't remember. I know there was like some like... I don't know.
I think it's a fine movie though.
I didn't find it too interesting.
The big... like, people don't like it for them trying to focus on 10 characters at once. I think it does well enough of... You don't really have to develop them in one movie. You just have to show who they are. And I think they did that well enough. Cersei, the green lady, the lady who wears green.
Power Rangers.
I liked her. I think her and Icarus had a romance. If I'm right.
That might cause issues within the clan. That's
right, because then they split, and when the movie starts, she's dating Kit Harington, Jon Snow.
Never date your coworkers.
That's right, but she's dating Jon Snow, who plays the Black Knight.
Don't know who the Black Knight. Actually, it does sound familiar.
He's like one of the.
That's like a post-credit scene, isn't it?
Yes, Mahershala Ali came back for that post-credit scene as Blade, because the Black Knight is given his sword.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
I know I've heard of the Black Knight before. But...
He's like one of the Ghost Rider, Moon Knight type characters, like the what do you call that?
Ghost Rider and Moon Knight in the same
like the magical characters, if that makes sense.
Is Moon Knight magical
or mystical? I don't know.
I don't know if Moon Knight's mystical. He has Khonshu that gives him like powers, but like
there's a word for the type of character they are. I just don't. Oh, dude! I just don't remember what I don't know. Magical, I feel like, is the best way to describe it. I don't know. Like, wouldn't you say Ghost Rider is like a
cosmic?
Cosmic, maybe.
But Moon Knight's not cosmic.
I don't know.
Cosmic is like Silver Surfer, Guardians of the Galaxy, Nova, Ghost Rider. That's cosmic. What type of character that? Moon he's just a street level hero. Moon Knight's a street level.
Okay, it just says he's a superhero. That doesn't help.
He's street level. He's like Daredevil, Spider-Man, Iron Fist. That's Moon Knight.
What type of character is Black Knight?
A fictional character.
Okay, great. Morally ambiguous figure. Okay.
You're thinking of like cosmic.
Yeah, the Ebony
Blade. But
Moon
Knight is a street level.
Mystical. Mystical is what I'm looking for.
I don't know if Moon Knight's mystical. He's like... mythology.
I think that's what
I don't know, something like
I'm pretty sure that that's what they call consider these type of characters. Relating to mystics or religious mysticism.
that would be for like kind of Moon Knight because like Khonshu is like a moon god.
Sure.
I don't know.
Inspiring a sense of spiritual mystery, awe, and fascination. They're just different from like an Iron Man, Captain America. You know what I mean?
Moon Knight and okay. Anyway, yeah.
Because they get their powers differently. They get them from
I know what you're saying now.
yeah,
Okay. That
like
makes sense.
either a god, like kind of Thor is one of those characters. He's a god. They get their powers from a god or an amulet or something that's not like an injection or just a suit.
Comment down below if you know what Josh is trying to say.
I think it's mystical.
What the term is. You don't understand. But that's okay.
Anyway, I like the movie.
Eternals?
I don't think they're ever going to come back though. They had Harry Styles in the post-credit scene as Star Fox.
Star Fox. I was going to say Firefox, but that's a browser.
That's right. Mozilla.
Mozilla, exactly.
That's Thanos' brother though.
Mozilla?
Star Fox. Not Mozilla. Okay.
That is.
Ready to move on to our
reviews?
Yes.
Just want to go into spoiler talk.
Yeah, from here, we're going into spoilers, like big time spoilers for Thunderbolts. So please, if you do not want to hear anything about Thunderbolts, skip to this time.
I don't think we're talking about anything after, are we? We might be.
Yes, we are. I have a tier list.
Oh.
So skip to this point to see the tier list. But other than that, if you don't want to listen to Thunderbolts, don't listen. If you do want to listen to Thunderbolts, stick around. Okay, ready?
Yours.
Okay, so we already said our ratings. I said 7. You said
8.5.
Okay. I think it is the best MCU film since Guardians 3. Which
What's in between that?
Captain America, The Marvels, and that might have been it. That might be the only 3 things.
So I
two
agree.
things. Yeah.
I agree.
And even like, oh wait, when was
No Way Home?
no
Shang-Chi? What else is in there?
oh I said it beats out Multiverse of Madness and Quantumania, which those were
Long shots, dude. Those are such bad movies.
yes. It's,
Not even just bad MCU movies, bad movies.
yeah, I think the vision of what am I saying?
You tell me.
Not the vision. I can't find any words right now. Maybe it's because we just ate.
We've been here all day.
Yeah, we have.
It's been a long day. But that's
What's
okay.
The spectacle. Those movies look fine. I think
Quantumania.
the idea of multiverse is okay.
Multiverse looks good. Quantumania does not. MODOK looks
Sure.
like
Yeah,
a
MODOK
baby
looks
face. I don't know. And they're like, it's a floating head. He's supposed to look stupid. He's not supposed to have like a baby face. He's supposed to have like wrinkles and like, he has no pupils, just wide eyes. He can look menacing.
Yes.
Even though he's a head in a chair, he can look menacing. Look up. You could probably do this post editing. Put up a picture of him what he looks like in the comics.
Yeah.
Mechanized organism designed only for killing. That's his
right.
name, and he looks funny but menacing at the same
He
time.
just looks funny in the movie. It's not MODOK. It looks terrible.
And he changes because Ant-Man's daughter says, "Don't be a dick."
That's right.
She's like, "Don't be a dick," and he's like, "I'll be a good guy now."
No, yeah, in the comics, in any other form of media, MODOK is like true villain.
He's one of the bigger Marvel villains, and they threw him away. But
Yeah, I
whatever.
agree. Speaking of another big Marvel villain that they threw away, Taskmaster.
Yes,
Taskmaster just gets shot in the head
he's so cool.
in what, the first 10 minutes of the movie? Maybe
It's
not
a
10.
she. Maybe they can bring him back as like a guy and have like the actual version.
Right.
Because you don't really see his abilities. His abilities is that like he sees you fight and he can mimic your moves. So it's
Right.
difficult to fight him because like whatever you do, he does. And that's cool.
We like kind of saw that a little bit in Black Widow.
On the bridge, and that's
Right.
it.
That's it.
I don't remember who it is. I know one of them for a fact, but there's a couple people that Taskmaster cannot fight, and one of them is Moon Knight. And because Moon Knight, he can just die because Khonshu revives him, right? So he can't replicate Moon Knight's fighting because Moon Knight can just die, and if he does that, he's just gonna die himself. So he can't replicate his moves because sometimes
Taskmaster would die.
yes, because like
Oh.
if Moon Knight can just die, he's not like protecting like the way he's like moving. He's not cautious with like protecting his life. So if Taskmaster follows his moves, he's going to end up dying himself. So you can't mimic that. That's one of them. There's a couple others. Greg knows because he's told me. That's why I know. There's like 3 of them. Okay. Moon Knight's one of them. That's cool though.
It is.
But Taskmaster was a waste.
I agree. That's exactly what I said. I said it feels like a wasted character.
Oh, so they didn't bring back the skull? Like his mask?
Yeah.
I think they did that because in China you can't have like skulls or like skeletons or anything. It's a Chinese thing. And a big market for Marvel is China because it brings in a ton of revenue. So you can't have like skulls and stuff.
That sucks.
So you can't have, yeah, that stinks.
Wow. I really hope that they...
flip the bird to China and do it anyway.
Just change it. Yep. That's unfortunate. Yeah, Taskmaster.
It's a tongue twister.
Taskmaster.
I have to think about it before I say it because I'll mess it up.
Taskmaster.
Yes.
Feels wasted.
Yeah.
Unfortunate turn of events there.
So that's a negative. Do you want to do all our negatives first and then positives, or positives and then negatives?
We're already on negatives, so why not just... Let's see. Oh, John Walker. He sucks.
You don't like John Walker in this movie?
Okay, look. I'm glad that they called him out. I'm glad that Elena had that speech that said, we know that you're a piece of crap, so does your family.
That's kind of messed up.
I like that he got called out and that it showed the backstory of him, like, not paying attention to his kid and everything. It really sets him up as, like, an unredeemable character. But I do not think this movie redeemed him at all. I think the only thing that really did was when they saved Sentry. And I think that was because he also decided to join them and show that he's there with them. But why would he do that? Because maybe he felt lonely himself.
I think what this is like a positive, but what I think they do well in this is that like it's a group full of trauma, and because like when I'm not speaking from experience. Like I got issues, but I can't compare myself to Winter Soldier and stuff. Obviously, that's not real, but like their trauma is like heavy. Yeah. There's some people who actually have stuff like that. But I think hypothetically, I can't really say if you're in a group full of people and they all have trauma, perhaps maybe can like reflect on yourself and they get through it together, kind of a thing. Which I think that's why I like Walker more, because like he starts off as like a d-bag and a douche, and he wants to be in charge. He wants to like listen to me. I'm Captain America. All this stuff, self-centered, kind of annoying. But, like, we know his trauma a little bit because they show in the movie, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, like, he does want to be, like, a good man somewhat, but then he makes mistakes. Like, his buddy died, and they end up killing someone in front of civilians. It's a mistake. He wasn't thinking rationally. He has trauma. And then I think his character slowly, not even, like, they're not directly telling you this in the movie, but the way he portrays himself, I think he is understanding that, like, even though he's gone through terrible things, so has everyone else. And I think he kind of sits back a little bit and realizes that, and he becomes less of a douche throughout the movie. He starts off as a big douche, and I think he's slowly, not like telling us to the camera, oh, well, I'm surrounded by people who also have dark past, and maybe I shouldn't be a D-bag. But he's slowly, I think you do see that, of him fixing himself. Internally.
I would maybe agree, but like during Falcon and Winter Soldier, he was the Captain America because he had the decorated combat and was, in general, a decent guy at first, right? He cared about saving people. He just did it to a more extreme extent. He took steps that not many heroes would, making him kind of like an anti-hero. I don't think that's changed in this. I think he saved people whenever the building was like collapsing and everything, but I think he would have done that prior. I think that they are setting him up for a better redemption arc, but I think if that bar has moved at all, it has slightly just moved towards the middle. I think he was a bad person, even though he believed that he's better than he is. And I think that bar has just made him a little bit more neutral.
I think the bar moves a little bit more for me. And I think for most people, I think John Walker's a highlight of this movie. I think everyone does a really good job in this movie, except for Ghost.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Ghost is a little dull, and she's kind of just there because they need to get out of sticky situations.
Right.
That's why Ghost is there. Taskmaster eats it because they just kill her off.
They did her wrong.
everyone, like, John Walker has a good story. Yelena, Red Guardian, Bucky, I'll bring up later.
Okay, so I'm not trying to say that I didn't think that he was a good part of the movie. I just don't think they convinced me that he is a good person. I think
I don't think they're trying to do that. I think they're trying to convince you that he's a broken person.
Okay.
Not like they're not trying to show the goodness in them. They're trying to show like the trauma and brokenness and like how they help each other to like get through it, kind of a thing. Because they're all like kind of depressed in this movie.
100%.
And I think with them, not voluntarily, like they're kind of stuck with each other because of like the events the hands they were given.
Yeah.
Was beneficial for all of them because of that. I don't think you're not supposed to see them as good guys. You're supposed to see them as like healing, kind of a thing. They're healing.
Yeah,
that's how I viewed it.
If I'm remembering correctly, all of them besides Red Guardian were at one point a villain in their respective movies or shows. Because Yelena tried to kill Hawkeye.
Yes, Yelena, yep.
Ghost
Bucky,
was
obviously.
Ant-Man villain. Oh yeah, Bucky was the Winter Soldier.
Taskmaster was Black Widow. Yeah, everyone was a villain.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could say that.
Even Bob. Bob was the villain of the movie.
I loved Bob.
Bob was great. He was a highlight. We'll get back to Bob in a moment.
Food will keep people safe.
Okay.
Right, so what else did you not like? Let's try and move a little bit faster.
I think that's all I had in terms of negatives.
And that's a 7?
Yes, because
it's a little rough.
I just think the moments don't hit like an Infinity War did, or
if you're trying to compare this to Infinity War, I think that's
okay. I'm not trying to compare it to Infinity War, but if I'm looking at it through
talking about like stakes,
maybe. I don't know. It just that's really the best way I know how to describe it. Is like it did not hit me as hard as even like obviously Guardians was amazing. But I think I was a little bit more impressed with what I saw in like Multiverse than this in terms of like visuals and stuff. I don't know. It's not like
I don't know. I thought the visuals were pretty good.
It's not that I didn't think it like I thought it was good, right?
Okay.
But I just don't see what in this movie like it doesn't resonate with me to elevate it to the level of like an 8 or a 9.
Okay.
If I were stacking it up against every other Marvel project, I think this would be a B for me. I think it's an Ant-Man. It's a good introduction to this cast of characters working together. But I don't think it's an Avengers level thing. Okay.
I will say something I do appreciate is that when the chair announcement was happening, when on YouTube, Twitter, Marvel went live and they had like the chairs, like the people's names, and you basically saw the names of Thunderbolts, like all the characters. Most people are like, I don't really care about these people.
Yeah.
But now I think I care about them. You probably will too. Not as main characters, but like side people, like a Vision, Guardian of the Galaxy. This movie does a great job into making you care about everyone, not to the extent of like an Iron Man or Captain America, but you care about them as like a B-list character, but that's still important. You cannot have Doomsday with X-Men and all that stuff, and then you have like another group like the Thunderbolts there to like help defeat Doom, but you don't care about them.
Sure.
At least you care about them. It doesn't have to be on the same level, but you still do now. So I think Thunderbolts was like a very important thing for Marvel in that aspect.
I agree. That's why I think it was a good intro to the team. So I don't know. I don't know if I would compare them to Guardians because
like a Vision.
Well, I will say that it worked.
War Machine.
It worked for me because I did not care much for Ghost. I didn't think John Walker was very good. I didn't think that he was going to be utilized like this. Whenever I saw Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I didn't really think that like Red Guardian was going to come back. I didn't think I kind of knew Yelena was going to come back, but I didn't know it to what extent. I do think that this movie is a Yelena and Bob focused movie.
Yes. Before we move on, I think to like positives, because Bob and Yelena's positives, I want to say some of my cons real fast. One's the post-credit scene, but we'll talk about that later.
Mm-hmm.
Not seeing Bucky's trauma, because we see Yelena go in and she has to deal with her trauma, which I think was excellent because we don't understand like how bad... Was it the Red Room?
Yes, the Red Room. So we understood how Natasha felt about it.
But we never... I feel like we don't get a good representation of how bad it really was until her trauma. With like the whipping of the hands and stuff.
Yeah.
That was excellent for Yelena.
And it also characterized her a lot more.
Yes.
Because before this, she was just Black Widow 2.0.
Mm-hmm. The issue that comes for me is not seeing Bucky's trauma.
I agree.
Bucky's or even like anyone else. Even if it's just one person in the group, I think we should see someone else's.
We saw John.
Yeah, but that's when Bob touches him and he goes back. But when you're voluntarily stepping into the void, I think that's when you should show it and then break it down their part to get to Bob and Yelena.
To get to them, yeah.
If they kind of just cut and they're all there.
Yeah.
That's a little con. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think it would be cool to see Bucky's and
I think if we would have seen Ghosts, that would have really, really helped her character.
Because she didn't really get much light.
No.
My second one, or I guess this is the third one, not killing the little girl. When Red Guardian saves that little girl.
Yes.
And then the void just like... And she turns into a shadow.
That was crazy.
Dude, Greg and I, like, we're sitting next to each other in theaters. We, like, turn and we're like, bro, that was insane. That, like, I haven't, like, jaw dropped in a movie in a fat minute. Sinners was really good. Sinners, I think a scene like that. But that was, like, insane.
I gasped.
And then turns out, like, the people are just going through trauma and they're not actually dead. I'm like, oh, that kind of took away, like, the oomph part.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. But it definitely was, like, still a really big moment for Marvel because other than maybe Daredevil and Infinity War Endgame, I don't think that they've had a moment that dark in the last couple of movies. Like maybe close to it with Guardians, but Rocket never died. Mm-hmm. But he was, he was so close to death that it was like...
I don't know, him, the evolutionist killing Rocket's friends, that was pretty bad.
That was pretty bad.
Anyway, I think
those were not to take away from the characters that but they were animals. It is more impactful, I think, whenever you see a human get that kind of death or treatment.
Some people cry when a puppy gets kicked, and when
I know, but like,
yeah, I know what you mean. I think the killing the little girl would have been good, but at the same time, like, I understand you can't kill like the entire New York population. Right. That it's a small little. I still gave it an 8.5.
Sure.
These are small little stuff. Valentina, whatever. I think there are some points in the movie that her acting was not good. I'm not gonna lie. Like in the car, she seems so like.
I can't see her as anything other than Seinfeld. That's all I can see from her.
When she was in the cab, the way she was talking, it just like felt so like artificial and not like in the movie character-esque. I don't know. It was weird. There were some parts.
One of the things that Hope said was that her character felt like Madeline Stillwell.
Who's that?
From The Boys, season 1.
Oh, yeah. I know who that is. Yeah, I wasn't. There's some parts her acting kind of bothered me. This was under cons, but it's not really con. I didn't want to put it in a pro though. Avengers with a Z. I kind of like it, kind of don't.
I think that was funny.
I like it because one, I think it's going to create conflict with Sam Wilson and his Avengers, being like, hey, like, we own that title, blah, blah, blah. I think it'd be like a fun interaction in Doomsday. I know Greg likes it. He said he likes it because, like, he likes the idea of, like, Earth being so down bad for superheroes right now that the best they got is, like, these guys. Yeah. And they're broken and not really serious, but that's, like, the best.
And they've been put in the old Avengers Tower.
Yes.
Which I'm a little bit disappointed about. I really thought that Oscorp was going to buy that.
Dude, Oscorp would have been so sick, but Sony's a prick. Anyway, I kind of like it, kind of don't. I'm like 50-50. We can go pros now. That's all I had for cons. Oh, well, do you want to do post-credit scene at the end? Because that's kind of a con for me.
Is it really?
Go ahead. Little bit. Now?
Yeah.
So how did you like it first before I say anything?
I thought it was fine.
The Fantastic Four rocket ship?
Yeah, I thought it was... okay, well, it also explained, because they said it was a multi-dimensional ship, or spacecraft, or whatever they said, which confirms that they're coming from a different timeline.
Which makes sense, because the Fantastic Four is, like, in the 60s.
Right.
If they come over... like let's say like they catch up with the timeline,
Right.
they're gonna be like 80 years old, 80, 90.
Exactly. So it explains how they're going to look the same.
People are saying that it spoils Fantastic Four because Galactus wins. I don't think that's true. I think we knew at some point the Fantastic Four had to come over to the MCU. Maybe they're looking for something. They're explorers after all. You know what I mean? The Fantastic Four, they explore things. They're not like, you know what I mean? I don't think it 100% means that Galactus wins. I think it'd be cool if Galactus does win and they have to flee. That'd be cool. People are saying it's spoiling it. I don't think so. They could be doing whatever they want.
It definitely could be a Galactus wins scenario, or it could be they beat Galactus, but then they realize what's happening with Doom in their universe, and that they're coming over to warn them.
I think my issue is that I wanted to see Doom or the X-Men or something because Fantastic Four is 2 months away.
Yeah.
And I think people are excited enough anyway. Also, they filmed that post-credit scene a month ago. A month before the release of Thunderbolts. They had no idea what it was going to be. I saw it today. I didn't know that. I think they should have set up Doom in a way because we haven't seen Doom yet. I think we need a look at Doom just to know the big bad. I don't think introducing the next big bad in the Avengers movie is a smart idea. They can still do it in the Fantastic Four post-credit, but I don't know.
Do you think Doom is coming from the Fantastic Four universe into their universe because there's less there at this point in their universe there's less big heroes to stop him?
I'm going to say something. I'm not sure if this is true or not, but skip to this after I say this because this might be a spoiler for Doomsday. So skip to this. Are you okay with
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So someone said, I'm not sure if this is confirmed or not, the reason why RDJ is casted as Doctor Doom is because Doctor Doom takes the face of Iron Man, like a hologram type thing. He did not like his actual flesh. Like takes his view, so the people on Earth trust him. He's like, hey, I'm like a hero, kind of like what Mysterio did to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He acts like a hero. He's like, look, you can trust me. I look like your Iron Man type. He's not actually Iron Man,
Right.
because it is confirmed he's Victor Von Doom. He's not evil Iron Man version. So I think he understands that Iron Man was big on their planet, and he tries to like gain their trust at first by doing that. Not sure if that is completely true or not. I just want to caution just in case it is true, and then people are mad at me. So that's what I'm saying. That's why I didn't really like the post-credit scene. It's not that big of a deal. I just wanted more. I heard so much big stuff like, this end credit scene is gonna make you explode.
So
Combust. I'm like,
is it going to be Fantastic Four and then Avengers? Is that it?
for what?
Is that the timeline? The next movie's coming out is Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four and then Avengers.
Doomsday? Wow.
And then I think Spider-Man and then Blade and then Avengers again.
Really?
I think so.
Okay, so I feel like the stakes aren't high enough yet. Because we saw from, Iron Man 2? That Thanos was...
Iron Man 2.
Or was it 3?
I think the first post-credit scene with Thanos was Avengers.
Wasn't it Iron Man 2?
I think that.
Oh,
Avengers,
no, it was Avengers.
Post-credit scene,
Yes.
he turns around, purple, blue eyes.
Yes, and then Iron Man 2 was the Gauntlet. Because I think you see Ronan go up to him in one of
Maybe
them.
that's the Dark World.
Could be Dark
Where
World.
like he grabs it and he turns around. It's
Regardless, there were two post-credit scenes that set him up. Then there was Guardians, which had Ronan, which is like his pawn. And then you have Infinity War. So you have 3 movies that indirectly set up, actually not even indirectly, that directly set up Thanos. And here we are with we're left with the wake of Jonathan Majors getting fired. And now they're kind of rushing into this Doom story. And they said that it was Doom all along, that they were going to
I'm scared, but I'm not, because one, I know RDJ is a fantastic actor. Mm-hmm. They have X-Men. We all know the X-Men already.
Okay, but if this is what I don't really like, is that the X-Men are the old X-Men. That's the Fox X-Men. It's the same Beast actor, the same is Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen for not Mysterio, for Magneto and Professor X. And is Hugh Jackman coming back?
I don't think there's been a confirmation of that.
Okay, so there's at least 3. Oh, and Cyclops.
I like that actor for him.
I like him too.
He also loves Cyclops too. I hope they don't make him stupid though, because Cyclops is the leader of the X-Men. He's supposed to be powerful, and in the movies, he's like,
he doesn't do anything.
He's lame.
But I don't want them to be the Vox X-Men. I want there to be a New Age X-Men.
We can talk about this in another episode with Doomsday.
Okay.
You gotta talk about Thunderbolts.
Yes, you're right.
So, okay, we ended off on Avengers. That's the end of my cons. We can go pros. Do you want to bounce off each pro?
Yeah, sure. I have Red Guardian and Elena conversation in the street.
Yes.
That almost made me cry. When he said, I might be late, but I'm here now.
That was actually a really good conversation.
Yes.
There's a lot of good stuff like that in this movie. Like
there are.
Yelena and Bob talking, and like dude, there's so many good conversations. This movie, I think the reason why I ranked it so high is because Thunderbolts, in my opinion, did a great job of balancing serious with funny. I think some Marvel movies are way too funny, and when it should be serious, it's not.
Yeah.
Kind of like Endgame. Endgame was too jokey. At the end of the day, half the universe is gone, and people's families are destroyed, things are messed up, and everyone's laughing.
And I get it. Like, humor is a way to cope. Like, that's how I cope with things.
Same, but like, most people aren't, or not, I don't want to say most, but...
Not everyone is...
Everyone on the Avengers and Endgame was jokey.
Yeah.
Everyone cannot be quippy like Spider-Man. That's not everyone's character. But yes, Yelena, Guardian.
Yes. Sentry. This is just a question I have for him. Mm-hmm. Do you know if in the comics is he that powerful?
I think he is.
From my understanding of it,
he's cracked.
From my understanding, Sentry is Superman. That's how I thought of him.
Yes, he's like one of the most powerful MCU heroes. I don't know much about him, but I know he is very powerful. Okay,
but like he has more powers than Superman even, because he had like telekinesis, like he could just throw things at will. He had he could do that thing where you touch him and he brings you into your worst memories or whatever. He can fly. I thought he had laser vision. I might be wrong. Maybe he just hasn't used it yet. What does that say? Psionics, immortality, flight, agility. Interesting. So, and then obviously he was super strong. Like nothing could hurt him.
It looks like kind of, yeah.
Okay. So it's like almost Superman.
Healing factor, energy.
Healing, sure.
Yeah, he has light
energy manipulation. And then, of course, he had that whole...
teleportation as well. Shape-shifting.
What?
He's insane.
So this guy's literally just cracked.
Yeah.
Okay. The other thing is, will we see him learn to control those powers before Doomsday?
This is a positive I have. One thing that I think the MCU really messed up was having, when the Hulk goes Hulk mode, having the possibility of him destroying things and harming civilians. Because one, it makes Banner interesting because he's so torn on like, I want to save lives, but sometimes I can't control and I kill people. That's like a really good inner conflict, which makes Hulk really interesting. That's why Hulk, Wolverine, and Spider-Man were like a top 3 Marvel heroes before like Iron Man stuff, because Hulk was complex and that's what made him really good. They don't have that anymore. They don't have this conflict of like, I want to be good, but now I can do bad. Sentry is that now. When he says, I want to be Sentry, but now I don't know if I can control it. I don't want to go into the void.
Yeah.
That contrast is what I love, and it being back in the MCU is very exciting. That was a positive for me. I love how he can't control that, because that's what we need the Hulk to be. We got 2 of those scenes.
Yeah.
Avengers on the helicarrier, Age of Ultron.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of what they did with, what's her name? Jean Grey. With the Phoenix.
Yeah.
Because she has this power. It's just that when she taps into it, because the Phoenix is innately an evil like entity. And so whenever she taps into it, she can't tap into it without risking herself becoming evil.
Yeah, I love that. I really like Sentry. I like Lewis Pullman, great actor.
That was like a breakout for him. That was
probably Top Gun.
Top Gun and then
Maverick.
that, I think.
Yeah. Did you see the funny thing how he asked if they could change his name from Bob because he just played a Bob, and they're like, no, it's from the comics, you can't change it.
That's funny. I did not know that.
He didn't want to be Bob.
Let's see. He was also in. There was one other thing that I saw that he was in that kind of stuck out.
Not a lot of bangers.
No, not really. This thing I seemed interesting though. Lefty Righty. It's just a short 12 minutes, and he is a cowboy.
It's a 12-minute movie.
It's just a short.
It's a
film.
short. Interesting. Yeah, but I thought he did great. The way he like could portray like a shy kind of character, but he wants to be brave. Like his eye would twitch sometimes, or like his lip would.
Yeah,
like,
and then whenever
was...
what's her name, Valentina made him Sentry, he immediately like switched up and was like confident. He was speaking less like stuttery. It was interesting that like he's bipolar basically. There's definitely some bipolar going on there because he was so down on himself, even whenever they were like trying to escape the vault or whatever. And he said, maybe it's just better
if I stay behind,
like no one would care.
And then he tries to save the day because he like rushes out of the truck and he's like, hey, and he's like, he wants to be like someone that matters.
Yeah.
And I think when he becomes someone who's like big, he's like,
it's ego that takes
he's
over.
like, finally people see me.
Yeah, like he said that thing about why would a god listen to someone like you?
And she's like, oh, I think it's a little high praise. And he's like, well, let's walk through the steps. He's like, you said I'm stronger than all the Avengers, and that has one god.
Thor's a god.
Yeah, so I'm like, eat her up, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? The more I talk about it, I like it a little bit more.
It was a really good. I don't know if like I'm excited as like an MCU guy, like a big nerd. Like, listen, I love sports. Monday we do sports.
I just thought of the
in my
Adventure Time
core.
clip.
I'm a freaking nerd too. Like I love all this stuff. Going into that theater, enjoying a Marvel movie,
Yeah.
nitpicking the post-credit scene at the end of the day, I'm still excited for Fantastic Four.
The first post-credit was good too.
All the little
With the Wheaties?
Wheaties.
Yeah. I'm on
this
the
movie-
box.
This Red Guardian was so funny.
He was.
Can I go over a positive real fast?
Really quick,
Yes.
I thought of the Adventure Time clip of the Cosmic Owl and Ice King where he's like, you're just a big nerd.
Dude, I freaking love Ice King.
A big nerd.
You should just like cut out what you just said and just like put that there.
I thought of insert.
Okay, a big positive for me was that Bucky's cool again. Bucky was the Winter Soldier, and there's a scene where like he's walking, I think on the helicarrier. He tosses a grenade in a Quinjet, blows that up. He kicks someone into a Quinjet, like to the fan. He blows him. Like he's bad A in that movie. He's so sick. And then after that, he's kind of nerfed a little bit. And it's kind of lame because like Bucky is cool. He's got metal arm. He's a super soldier. He was fighting alongside Captain America.
The Red Guardian dialogue in him where he was like, so what kind of serum did you get? And he's like, I don't know, regular.
He's like, Hydra. He's like, oh,
Yeah.
I got the... And then I thought that was so funny. I also like how Red Guardian looks up to Winter Soldier as if
Yeah.
like that's like his model. That's so funny.
It's the Winter Soldier. Yeah. That was funny.
But the fact that like Bucky's like cool again is actually he's a hero. He's not a good guy with a metal arm. He takes out 3 buggies, which is sick.
I did like his development from being the senator who quit all of a sudden to like realizing that he has to do good. He has to be the Winter Soldier still. Like he has to go to those extremes. I don't like his haircut. He looks
the
bad.
one in the post-credit scene or like the new one? Or the one he has in the movie?
The one he has in the movie. He looked like...
I thought it was fine.
It looked greasy.
I don't remember how it looks in the post-credit scene, but I'm seeing
It was just like longer.
I'm seeing a bunch of chicks being like, "Oh my, his hair is so
Everyone's
good."
always gonna fanboy over Sebastian Stan. He's just hot.
He is hot.
But his hair in the main movie
I didn't think
greasy.
it looked too bad. It's greasy. Do you like do you like the cut and not that it looks unclean?
I guess. I like his hair long, but I think it looked better in Winter Soldier and
Winter Soldier, it was like
it was kind of messy.
a lot. It was like yours, but like goes down to here maybe.
Yeah.
It
It looked better.
Also like the mask.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Anyway, Bucky being like actually cool is like was a big positive for me. I had Yelena, Red Guardian. We already talked about them. The fight scenes, I thought were really good. The the 1v1v1 in like the chamber was really good.
Yeah, after Taskmaster gets shot.
I think the reason why I like that scene is because going into this movie, I thought these guys are kind of not. I don't want to say powerful because they don't really have like powers. I mean, they're super soldiers.
They're all kind of the same.
But
they even mentioned that. They're all like point and shoot.
Yeah. Their reaction time is so cool though. Like someone threw a knife at Ghost. Ghost went invisible, caught it, threw it at Walker, and then Walker like dodges it, catches it, and tries to kill Yelena.
Yeah.
Like they got cool like reaction times. It makes me feel like they're like actually superheroes.
Yes.
Not just people with like that can punch hard.
Right.
So I thought that fight made them look stronger and better. That was interesting. The desert scene with the buggies, Bucky going Winter Soldier with like the rope around his arm, and that was sick. The fight with Sentry was really cool. Him just clapping all of them. That was really cool.
That was wild.
Yelena scene in the very beginning when the hallway scene, it's like over the top shot. Fights were cool. I like the characters. The plot was good. It wasn't a giant CGI battle, which we're kind of used to in Marvel. It was like a fighting trauma, do it together. It was such a good. I'm really high on this movie.
Let me say something really quick about the CGI fights.
Sure. The Sentry fight?
No, the CGI fights.
Oh, you like them?
No, I don't like all of them. I don't think that Quantumania was good.
Did you see that one?
I did see Quantumania.
I did not see it.
You didn't see it?
No.
The whole movie, you did not see it?
I was excited for it because it had Elton John in the trailer, and I love Elton John.
Yeah.
And I love Ant-Man. I didn't watch it opening night, but after the reviews of opening night, it was so bad. I'm like, I don't want to hurt myself after this, so I didn't watch it.
Interesting. So, I didn't like the final fight, but there are some good CGI fights that end the movies, and Shang-Chi is one of them. And I know that you and Greg did not like it, but that CGI fight is probably one of the last good ones. Probably is the last good one. Maybe, okay, Guardians, but it's so good. Just the moment where the Great Protector is like under the whatever the bad one is called, and like all of the bats are swarming.
Do you know how they lose? The annoying chick, I forget her name because I don't want to remember.
Oh, Aquafina.
Aquafina shoots an arrow, just learned it like an hour ago, shoots the arrow, an impossible shot. If it's Hawkeye, I understand. How did she hit that shot? That is so butt. That's terrible writing. That's just like such a weak, poor excuse how to end a fight. Was Aquafina who learned how to shoot a bow an hour before this giant dragon came out, and she hit this money shot. This really hard, follows the arrow, hits it. That's so stupid, man. And you can't tell me that a martial art fight between the main character and his dad, the whole movie is like a martial arts. It's beautiful. The fight choreography is amazing. They did, but it should have just been that and more personal instead of just two giant dragons. The dragons looked cool. The CGI looked good. I'll give you that. It looked cool. But at the end of the day, like, I don't think it really. So you're saying
the motivation of the fight was wrong?
I think so. Also, the bow thing really kills it for me, like 100%.
Okay, I wasn't saying that though.
You're saying you like. It looks cool, right?
Yes, it looks great.
It can look great, but not fit.
I guess, but I still think that the dragons fighting fits. I think you could have had more of a...
We will have this discussion another time.
Okay.
But you can,
I'm
going to
finish.
with...
Last thought.
I'm not going to argue, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, sure. I think that they could have had more of a hand-to-hand combat fight with him and his dad while also keeping the dragons fighting.
Okay.
And I think that it would have been better if they... Okay, I do think Aquafina hitting the shot is okay for the story, but it would have been better if it was his sister.
Oh, 100%.
Or the old guy who taught her. Or if they were stuck on the idea that Aquafina had to do it.
She's so annoying.
I agree. But if they were stuck on the idea that Katie, that's her name, that she had to do it, they should have shown... There should have been more of a time jump between when his dad found where they were.
I don't know how you spell Shang.
Shang. And it's Chi, not Chu.
I forgot what it was. I forgot what she looked like.
She's Aquafina. That's it.
Oh.
But hey, if she's good with a bow in the next movie, then at least they've had plenty of time to train because
I don't ever want to see her. She's like Jar Jar Banks. And Jar Jar Banks is
Dude,
better
no,
than
Jar
her.
Jar's good.
Oh, look at her face, man.
Yeah, I don't like her.
That sounds really racist. I take that back. It's not.
Look at her face.
No, but like what I have pulled up is like she's like mid talk.
Yeah.
And her face.
It's a
is-
bad screenshot. Hey guys, Editor Josh here. If you're enjoying the podcast so far, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to reach 750 subscribers by the end of this season. So again, if you do enjoy it, please subscribe. Thanks. Back to the video.
We are done with Thunderbolts. Are you gonna raise your 7 higher? Do you think? Because I feel like the more you thought about it, the more you liked it. You don't have to raise it if you don't want to. I'm just saying, like.
So kind of like I was telling you earlier, it's harder for me to understand that like 7 out of 10 is actually a good rating, and that 5 out of 10 is something that's mid. Mm-hmm. And honestly, like if I'm looking at Quantum Mania, I'm giving that a 4. So, because it's like below mid. The only thing that's good about it is that they tried.
I haven't seen the movie. I think it's like a 3 or even like a 2.
Well, I don't think you can rate it if you haven't seen it.
I've seen enough of it, like online. So
That's not
everyone
fair.
in the
You can't.
No. Listen. In Quantumania, like in like the realm they're at, throughout the movie, everyone who lives there is like, oh, Kang's like this big bad, like they're scared of him. You say his name, and they're scared of him, right? I understand
Yes.
that part. MODOK messed up. Katie, is that her name? Ant-Man's daughter. What's her name?
Kate.
Kate?
No, not Kate. That's Kate Bishop.
Doesn't matter. She has poor acting for Ant-Man's daughter. They did not use Wasp barely at all. If they did, it wasn't great. Kang, the big bad, or was supposed to be, got taken out by ants. MODOK was terrible.
There's more to the Kang fight, but
100%. But ultimately, he loses. Also, Ant-Man not dying to Kang is crazy. I know he says, like, I don't gotta win, I just gotta make sure that we both lose, or something like that. I still think it's stupid. Like, overall, it's not a good story. Poor villain, poor execution. Maybe some things look decent. From what I've seen, it looks kind of messy.
I think it is. But
I think it's a mess.
I don't think it's fair to evaluate the entire thing based on snippets. If you've seen just one part of the SpongeBob movie, like if you've seen 3 minutes of it, you can't say that the whole
I've seen more than
bad.
3 minutes of. I've probably seen like 20 minutes of footage, like from different parts of it. I've seen the parts that should matter and they're bad. If the parts that should matter are bad, the parts that don't matter, are they good? It just leads up to nothing good.
I guess that's fair, but I still don't think it's valid to.
Okay, that's fine. I will watch it and I'll probably rate it lower.
You might.
I might.
And
Anyway.
tell me if you do. Last thing actually I had on Thunderbolts was I think Elena and Bob are gonna have a romance.
Oh.
I think it would be sweet. Anyway, I have a tier list of the first 3 phases of the MCU movies, and I want to see if you will agree.
Oh, okay.
So let's just get this one out of the way. I have not seen The Incredible Hulk,
Whoa.
so I don't. It's in a tier that just says have not seen.
Okay.
Which I'll also put this up on screen. Starting with D tier.
I'm just gonna look over
Thor:
at
The
this.
Dark World and Captain Marvel.
Okay.
Now, Thor: The Dark World is just like, it's an okay movie, but it doesn't do anything very.
The only thing useful
extraordinary.
is that they introduced the Reality Stone. The Dark Elves they're kind of cool, but they're forgettable.
I feel
and
like everything in this movie could have been done a lot better. It has potential, it just falls short.
I think it was also like the first flop for the
Yeah.
MCU. So
Yeah, I agree. And then Captain Marvel it's just Captain Marvel. It's just bad. Then we've got C tier. I just have Ant-Man and the Wasp. I thought this was the most mid project that they have done. It is A5.
the worst part is that it came after Endgame,
Yeah,
so that really hurt it. So.
it did. It's a true 5. I think if you're going to compare anything to a Marvel movie, you can look at Ant-Man and the Wasp and be like, was it better than that? It's good.
Interesting. Okay.
B tier is where we start to get some more. I have the first Ant-Man,
Okay.
the first Avengers.
That's Age.
I'm sorry.
Age
Yeah,
of
Age of Ultron. Age of Ultron.
I was about to crash.
Yeah, sorry. Age of Ultron. We have No Way Home.
Far From Home.
Far From Home. That's right. Okay, I'm mixing up the names. First Thor
Okay.
and Iron Man 3. Because technically, Iron Man 3 is supposed to be the end of Iron Man, right? He like writes off the suits, he blows them all up.
He takes the arc reactor out, throws into the ocean.
Exactly. And then it's just completely turned into like he just forgets about it. And what is that? Age of Ultron comes after that. So it's almost like everything that they did for his character in that movie doesn't even matter. That's why I have it here. I thought it was fine as a movie, but I mean, it's B tier. I'd give it like probably a 6.5.
There's some good parts in Iron Man 3.
Yeah. I'm going to change Thunderbolts to a 7.5.
There we go.
Anyway, let's move on to A.
Cool.
A tiers where a lot of things come in. We have Homecoming, Spider-Man Homecoming, Doctor Strange 1, Captain America, The First Avenger, Iron Man 1 and 2.
2 should be a B, but that's just me though. Continue.
Think so? Okay. Ragnarok. Thor Ragnarok.
I would put that B as well, but we can talk about that later.
Okay. We have Endgame, which might be hot. Might be a hot take.
No, most people like Endgame. Greg and I are like, we don't hate Endgame. We think it's severely overrated. We understand what it does. It takes all the MCU, wraps it up. Not even like in a bad way, but I think it does dishonor certain characters that they should not have done. Thor, Captain America, Hulk. We people put it over Infinity War. When you put it over Infinity War, I want to kick you to the curb.
I agree.
Anyway, continue.
And then we have what is this?
It's hard to see.
That is Guardians 2. Guardians 2.
Yes.
And then Black Panther and Civil War.
Okay. I will say I think Civil War is an S tier.
I'm so close to Civil War being an S tier, but I'm considering S tier like 10 out of 10.
I think Civil War is a top 5 MCU movie.
I think Civil War is the first A tier because it's 9 out of 10. It's that close.
I respect that.
It's like bordering. Anything you disagree with here other than...
So Ragnarok I think is good, but I think it's aging poorly because the humor. After Love and Thunder, it has similar humor, and I think that drags it down a little bit. Hela's really good. I like this Hulk a little more than most Hulks. Thor, I don't know how I feel about it. I'm like on the fence with how Thor is because I like him with his serious tone.
Yeah.
Not the first Thor movie tone, but Infinity War Thor. Where he's like broken, he's lost most people in his life, but he still like is there to like save the day in like Wakanda. And like scenes like that go so hard. I think him being like a broken character is more intriguing than like another Spider-Man Deadpool quippy character. The Endgame, I'm fat drinking beer playing Fortnite Thor.
Yeah.
He's right before Endgame Thor. So I kind of look at him in the lesser light because of that.
Okay.
So, but I still think it's a pretty good movie. I'm saying B though. There's some issues I have, not an A.
Okay, sure.
But
I would probably, maybe upon rewatch, I would bring it back down. Because I think I watched it twice in theaters and I really liked it whenever it first came out.
I really liked it when it came out too, but it's kind of...
I don't think I've seen it since then.
It's aging a little bit poorly, that's all.
Okay. Maybe I'm looking at it through rose-colored lens. That's rose-tinted lenses? Rose-colored?
I don't know, man. I thought Stunt Double was Stunt Double.
That's true. I think it's rose-colored lenses. Anyway, S tier, I have Winter Soldier, The First Avengers,
Yes.
The First Guardians, and Infinity War.
Can I say something crazy?
Yeah.
I think the first Guardians is the weakest out of all of them.
Really?
I think they're all really good movies. So when I know this is going on the internet and people are going to be like, you don't like the first Guardians. Guardians is really good, but the other ones are better. Not taking away the greatness of the first one. I think it goes 3, 2, 1.
Can I say something crazy?
You're going to flip that?
Yes, I would flip that exactly. I think 3 was
fine.
the weakest. It's still a great movie. I would put 3 and 8 tier.
My love for the Guardians is so strong that you could... Anyone on planet Earth could be like, I like 2 the most. I'm fine with that. You can say you like 1 the most. I'm fine with that. 3, I'm fine with that. Because I like them all. So I'm not going to fight over that because I respect that. But for me personally, it's 3, 2, 1. Ego's a really good villain. High Evolutionist, really good villain. I think what kind of kills it for me is that Ronan's just like a bad guy. He's a bad guy to be bad. And I think the other villains are more intriguing. And I think the backstory for Peter in the second one's really good. Or like with like his
Sure.
daughter relation or his dad relationships are really good. And then the Rocket backstory I really liked. Also the scene where Star-Lord and Groot, like it's like with the guns. I don't remember the scene. They're going to go talk to the High Evolutionists, and they don't have weapons or anything. But Groot is like hiding all the guns.
Yeah.
I think those two, that one scene, was kind of needed. I think like a Groot Star-Lord team up was kind of cool.
Yeah, I agree.
I liked it.
So I think one of the things that takes me out of the third one is when they were in that like plaza thing, and like Drax almost dies.
Yeah,
He should have died. There is no way he survived that. Like
Drax is a beast.
I know, but even like I don't know. He just took so much.
Dude, you know what's a really funny scene?
He's also older at this point. He's like at the end of, he wanted to, obviously, he was like ready to be done. Dave Bautista's done.
He is done.
So
too much makeup.
Yeah. But I think it was just like, I'm shocked that at this point in his life, he's like not weaker, I guess.
Especially like with his kind of build.
Yeah.
When you're young and you're bodybuilding, I think I'm also not a professional in this field. I know, look at me, like I got twigs, but like I think people with that kind of body tend to live shorter.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah, I respect it being S tier. Let's see. Infinity War makes sense. Avengers makes sense. I think Avengers holds up perfectly. The pacing's perfect. Characters are cool. Captain America, Winter Soldier is good. If you were to put Civil War in S tier, and then what else would I put? I'm
Black
not sure.
Panther?
I think my top 5 MC movies, not in any order: Infinity War, Civil War, Avengers, Captain America, Winter Soldier. There's another one I'm missing. I'm sure.
3?
No, I don't think that cracks my top 5, but those are my S tier. Those are my cream of the crop.
Okay.
I don't hate your list though. I disagree with Endgame, Ragnarok, and Iron Man 2. That's it.
Would you put Endgame lower?
I put a B tier, but like a high B tier. Like I said, I'm not like, it's not a bad movie. It's just there's certain aspects of it that I don't like. The scene where Iron Man comes back and he's like almost dying and he's having that conversation with Captain America like, hey, you said that like we'd be together. I think it was it Age of Ultron? He's like, if we lose, and we'll do that together too. And Iron Man's like, you said we would lose, and we did, and guess what? You weren't there. Like that serious talk. That's how I think the tone should have been. Most of the movie. You can have funny stuff like the roadie with like killing baby Thanos.
Yeah,
that was funny. You can have stuff like that. It should have been a more serious tone. After all, half your team, half your friends died. I know it's been 5 years.
Yeah.
They still died. You know what I mean? So, I don't know.
I think the beginning of it really shows the severity and like the weight that they were dealing with. But then they do very much become quippy.
Another big issue, Greg and I both, we talked about this a lot because we think most people actually love Endgame. And when Greg and I say this, people hate us for it. The Thanos in Endgame is so poor.
I agree.
He's there just to be a bad guy. Infinity War, he has development. You can see his cause, why he's doing. Yes. And then they kill him. They no longer have that relationship with the villain.
Right.
Now it's just like a Thanos, like a newer Thanos. Like, or I guess it's an older, newer. It's the past Thanos, but he's in the newest timeline, if that makes sense. So it's a younger Thanos. And he has no idea who the Avengers are. It's not like he has that, like, I defeated you once and you want to stop me again. I got to stop you because this is my plan. You know what I mean? Kind of. They destroyed that as well. Killing him and, like, just for like a, oh my goodness, that works in the theater. And then 5 years from now, he's just a giant purple titan.
Right.
B tier movie. Overhyped.
So the past Thanos that they're fighting, his motivation was still the same thing, right? Because if it's in the past, he still wants to get the Infinity Gauntlet, the stones, and snap.
But imagine that, but he fought them on Wakanda.
Right.
How much more emotional and, like, I feel like it's more...
So, do you agree with the idea that they killed him in the beginning?
No,
Or do you
don't
think
kill him.
Okay, so let's say they still do, but then the version of Thanos that comes for them is is like a Thanos that gets pulled directly before he can snap in Infinity War. So he's on the verge of winning.
Interesting. I just think don't kill him.
Sure.
That's what I think. Just play it safe because I don't know how. I haven't seen Endgame in a while.
So the beginning of it is them
They
locating him,
cut off his head.
going there. Thor kills him.
Should have aimed for the head.
Sure. I guess my question now is like, why was he so okay with dying? Because he snapped half the
He was
universe?
at peace because he's already succeeded, and time travel's not a thing
Right.
yet. So in his mind, you can kill me, do whatever you want. Like at the end of the day, I'm a farmer.
won.
I watch the sunset, sunrise. If you kill me at the end of the day, in his eyes, he still saved the universe because people can eat. There's no famine. There's enough to go around. He has come to peace, come to terms. He's chilling, man.
So
He did his
why
job.
does he not stick up for his cause more? Why would he not? If he knew that they were coming to kill him,
I don't think they did. I don't think he knew that.
so okay, he didn't. But when he sees them, why would he not just immediately attempt to defend himself? And
Because in his mind, there's no way to stop it because the stones destroyed themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So in his mind, there's no way of reversing what he's done. So I think his character has come to peace. He's like, I've won. I've done my task. I don't think he needs to plea because he's already won. Because Iron Man doesn't invent time travel until later.
after, yeah. So
He's content.
he has to die.
You don't have to start the movie with them killing him.
Then what would be the conflict? Do you think they could have reversed the story
If Iron Man invents time travel
before?
in the beginning,
Yep.
he misses Spider-Man a lot, which I thought that was a great scene of like him seeing the photo of Spider-Man. There's still great scenes in Endgame. Don't get me wrong. It's still a good movie. I think if Thanos gets an ear out that they've found a way to reverse his job, then he's like, time to put on the helmet and my armor because they found a way to reverse what I've done.
Right.
If he doesn't know that, he's living in harmony. So just have a way to where like he
So he
finds
has to
out.
rebuild his army.
He probably still.
You also don't get Gamora back
You
if you do that.
don't need Gamora.
I guess not, but that's a big driving point of Guardians 3.
You could make something where like a different dimensional Gamora came over. I don't think making Endgame like that with like that kind of Thanos is worth making Guardians 3 a good movie.
Okay, that's fair.
Because the Endgame is like to finish everything that Marvel has
Right.
done in the past.
So what if it was like...
Also, James Gunn would have figured out something because James Gunn is smart.
Yeah, James Gunn's great. Do you think maybe Thanos would have been like, now that I know what you're doing...
Avalanche is up 1-0 on the Stars.
Let's go! Do you think perhaps if Thanos also found out how to use what Tony Stark was doing, he goes back, starts collecting the stones while they're doing it?
Oh, it's like a race?
Yeah, and
That would be
then
cool.
he gets the time stone, so then he goes and pulls Gamora. Nebula and Gamora.
That would be really good. Like the time and space one, because
Right, because
He
at
needs
that
the
point he
space
could then pull Ronan too. He could pull Ronan, Gamora, Nebula, and his army.
yeah, I mean, they had time to think about a story.
Sure.
I think what they did was just for a jaw-dropping moment in theaters, killing Thanos. Like, oh my goodness, they killed him. Like, where is it gonna go from here? I don't think it was worth it. I think what you just said right now with like Thanos knowing that they're on a race getting the stones and he finds a way to like also go back in time and it's like, yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I think that would have been better because it's still the same Thanos that fought them on Titan.
Yeah.
So it's more of like it's more personal. That's what I liked about the fight on Titan in Infinity War is that like he knew Stark.
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And like he doesn't really know them in Endgame. He's like, you guys are annoying little planet, and now I gotta destroy this planet because you guys are aggravating me. Like that's
Right.
kind of like even like Wanda being like, you took everything from me. He's like, I don't even know you. That's a funny meme. But at the end of the day, if he knew Wanda, knowing that he killed her love, imagine how much more emotional that'd be. If he knew that he killed her husband, that would have been so much more emotional
Yeah.
and more impactful in the fight. But no, instead, if it's just like a, I don't know who you are,
Now I'm going to get beat up by you.
because we wanted a jaw-dropping moment that works in the theater, but then after if you rewatch it, it's not the same. You're like,
Right.
I know how it starts. I don't think it's worth it. Good movie, not A. That's okay.
Valid criticism. I like it.
Don't like what they did to Thor. Hulk was so bad.
Yeah, I think I need to rewatch now Ragnarok and Endgame.
I think you should rewatch Iron Man 2 as well. Iron Man 2 has some highlights, but I think Hammers is funny. I think Whiplash is kind of lame. Whiplash is kind of cool, but
That opening scene is so iconic. That's the first
scene?
First movie I saw. First MCU movie I saw was Iron Man 2
what's the opening
at the
scene?
the racetrack.
That's not the opening scene. It's like probably like a quarter in.
Is it really?
I think so. Because what happens is something happens to Ivan, which is Whiplash. He gets put in jail. Hammer sends him potatoes. Remember potatoes, and he puts them on the wall, and then he gets out. And then he finds Tony Stark at the racetrack. So
That's
something
right.
happens in the beginning to where he goes in jail first. I forget what it is. But it doesn't start the movie like that.
Gotcha.
Really good fight scene. Mark V. I got a
Oh,
brick
you have
head.
it.
I have
Nice.
a brick. Yeah, I got a figurine of Mark V. It's my favorite Iron Man suit.
Very cool.
The suit up
I wouldn't
best
say it's
in
my
the.
favorite.
That's fair. I have a buddy who says he doesn't like any of the silver and red Iron Man suits. I think he's a loser.
No, I like some of them. I just don't. I think that one's okay.
Would you say top five?
No.
What's your top five?
Well, I don't know the names,
I know the names.
nor do I know the.
So tell me what they look like, and I might be able to tell you the mark.
Let me. No, I need to look it up.
Do you like the first Avengers one? The final fight?
I think that one's fine.
That's Mark 6 with the triangle.
Yeah.
That's Mark 6. It has like silver on the legs. Red and gold mainly, but has some silver.
Holy moly. There's just so many of them.
There's a lot. Good luck. Good luck looking at that.
Okay, we've got.
Okay,
Get
so
out of here.
1, 2. 2's only in the first one for like a minute
Yes.
because he paints it.
Right. Oh,
All right, well, screw you, buddy. You could probably just zoom in.
I think 4's good.
4 is a classic.
So this is 5.
Yes,
It's fine. I don't think it's my top 5 though.
it's my favorite, but that's just me.
This looks
personally.
like Doom, almost. Almost the colors.
Most of this is Iron Man 3, and you see him just blowing up in the sky. Mark 42 is really cool. The gold one that flies to him. Bones, the black.
I
and
think there's
gold
too
one.
much gold
gold.
there. I like this one.
Is that looks like Age of Ultron, and I think
Yes.
that's Mark 43.
Okay.
I'm so-
Hulkbuster's cool. Both of
Hulkbuster's
them.
cool.
Actually, this one's better. First one. What is this? Mark L? Bleeding Edge?
If you're looking at Infinity War, that's probably like Mark 50, 51, 52.
Okay, I like that
something
one.
That. The
And-
nanotech. I like more of like the bulky looking ones, like the OG ones, like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I like the more sleek ones that don't have as much
You know, you
shoulder action
nanotech.
or yeah.
We have like totally different views on Iron Man.
But it's
that-
still
that's
fine.
okay.
I think it looks
All the suits are cool.
yeah.
How do we get here?
Don't know.
Endgame?
Anyway, I think that's all we have for this episode.
Like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell. Should we just end it there and just say like, but like after I say that, black screen like camera died. I think that'd be funny.